how to download and install AID-HS, Automated and Interpretable Detection of Hippocampal Sclerosis. This is a tool that extracts hippocampal volume and surface-based features from T1 scans using HipUnfold, and then characterizes how the hippocampal features compare to age and sex-matched controls, and also comparing left and right hippocampus within the individual, and then provides an output from a logistic regression classifier to predict whether or not there's left or right hippocampal sclerosis. Now, to use this tool, you will need to know the age at scan and sex of each of your participants, and you'll need a T1 scan. The tool has been developed on 3T data, and it has been evaluated on a small cohort of 1.5T, but not on 7T data yet. So just a disclaimer that this is a research tool and it hasn't been approved by any regulatory agencies, and therefore any clinical application of the software is at the sole risk of the party engaged in such application. There is no warranty of any kind that the software will produce useful results in any way, and use of the software is at the recipient's own risk. So now, how to install and use the AID-HS pipeline? Well, firstly, all this information is on github.com/meldproject/AID-HS. And if you scroll down, you'll reach the part which talks about installation and use of the AID-HS pipeline. We're going to do the Docker installation, so click on Docker. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you have Docker installed on your computer. To test this, if you open a terminal window, you can type Docker version, and if you have Docker installed, it will tell you the version you have. If you don't have Docker installed, the first thing that you need to do is to go onto the Docker website and download Docker. Do make sure that you download the correct version for your OS system, and you will also need to input your email address and verify it before Docker will work. So you can click here to get to the Docker guidelines. What to do is to make sure that if you're using a computer that has GPU capabilities, that you have them enabled. Okay, on to installation. What you're going to need to do is download the AID-HS zip file from the latest GitHub released. So I'm going to download it in a zip format, and it's downloading now. And I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and I'm going to extract it. So I now have AID-HS. Step is to download the AID-HS data folder. So click on this link, which takes you to Figshare, and you download this folder. Once it's downloaded, you can again extract it. And so now I have my AID-HS algorithm, and I have my AID-HS data folder. The next thing that I'm going to need to do is to open my AID-HS folder, and you can see that in here there is a folder called compose.yml. I'm going to open that. It will look like this. And the next thing that you need to do is you need to change the part after volumes to point to where your AID-HS data folder is. Is on my desktop. So I've gone to my desktop and I've printed the working directory by typing pwd, and this gives me the path to my AID-HS folder, data folder. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to my compose.yml, and where it says volumes, I'm going to delete where it says volume, and I'm going to put my new path. The next thing that you need to do is, if you do not have GPU on your computer For example, I don't, I'm on a Mac laptop. I need to delete everything from here downwards, which is about using my GPU. So you can just delete it. Okay. This is not necessary if you have GPU. Right. By the installation. So what you're going to need to do is to CD to where your 8HS has been downloaded, which for me is on my desktop. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this line and I'm just going to paste it here. And now we are running the download. And it will take a few minutes. Now, if you run into errors while you're doing this, you can contact us and we should be able to try and help. And the way you do this is rerun this command, and this will output a log called pytest_errors.log, which you can then send to us.